And that makes things a little closer as they both, the two young bowlers, look over there. Pete a little more relaxed than he was when he first started, and that's understandable, making his first appearance on the show that he has probably been watching ever since he can remember. There it is at the end of 2. Our defending champion, Steve Renaud, Southbridge, Massachusetts, 241. Our challenger, Pete Pereira, Jr., Woburn, Massachusetts, 232.
We'll be number 1 for another 30. Nobody beats Mike. Nobody.
Challenger Peter Pereira, Jr., about to lead off in the 3rd string on lane 2 here at the fairway in Natick, Massachusetts. Once again, 2 full on the head pin, but he was on the head pin. Nice shot as he took out the 3 on the right and one of the 3 on the left for a 10. He has it. He gets a break. 2-pin went. Now his spare leave is the 6 and 10. The wood is gathered on the left, 3 pieces. Unhappy with himself for releasing that. I don't know whether that was a moment of indecision as to going directly at the 6 and 10, which he just did, and which I assumed he would, and we all did, or whether for a second he toyed with the idea of using the piece of wood that was nearest and moving it over, and then as he was delivering the ball perhaps changed his mind. Maybe it was just an out-and-out miss. Steve Renaud faced with the 4 horsemen left side, and in the back he has the 8-pin. Got 2 of them, but still did not hit the head pin, so it's 1, 7, 8 still there. Pretty 10, a pretty 10. He has a 9-pin lead in the match going into the 3rd string, and of course they've tied with 10s in the first box. One, 3, 7, 9, and wood in back of the 1 and the 3. Another piece close to the 9. Yes. Fair. Real good Candlepin bowler will be our challenger next week, Paul Berger of Hopedale. Pete Pereira knocks everything down except the 4-pin. No wood to help. 4-pin alone. And he's got it. No question about it. Just 3. Four horsemen right side, plus the 5 and 9, and the 7 alone with wood in front of it. But he made it. He made it. A pretty spare. Steve Renaud working on a spare. He gets a big strike. It looked for a moment as though it was going to be a 9, but then the 2-pin toppled. At the moment, up by 19. First ball gets him 5. And he's got them spread all over the place. He's got the 2, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 10. Got the 5, but there are still 4 pins standing. So the fill was 6 on the strike, and 7 in the box. Two in a row up on the board for our 18-year-old challenger, Pete Pereira. Bonus. 7 more. 5, 6, and 10. Wood on an angle near the 5. Angling from left to right into it.
Take another one. Take another one.
Got 1. The 6 pin. And the wood was more of a roadblock than anything else, so it's an 8 box. The 9 just fell, so he has the 3 pin with wood behind it. 7 and 10. Very pretty spare. Very pretty for Pete Pereira. Beautiful. Oh, isn't that pretty? Now Steve Renaud. Steve has a spare leave over on the left, the 4 and 7. In completed boxes right now, his lead in the match is 12. And he gets a spare here, so the lead goes up to 14 because he's opposite an 8 box. And we'll see what he gets as a fill. He gets a big 9. Up to 23 in completed frames. Single pin. Oh, missed it. That may be costly. It's a 10. All right, Peter, working on a spare and trying to cut that 23 pin deficit. That's too bad. Just 4. So that brings it down to 19. And...
All right, couple 3 more, Pete. Couple 3 more. Hang in there, Chuck.
A 9. Now in the 8th box of the last string. And not what he wanted, because he has a split. He has the 4 and 7 over on the left, the 10 over on the right, and no wood. He got the 4-7 over there, but didn't get the bounce off the sidewall that he might have wanted. 10. All right, with 4 boxes to go for Steve Renaud and 2 for his challenger, he leads by 19. He has that tricky triangle, is about the best way I can describe it, made up of the 2, 4, 5. The one that looks so easy but isn't. A 10. 20. $20 pins right now. That's his lead. And a big hit, almost a hammer. He's left with a 5 pin. Piece of wood rolling around a little bit. He has to wait for it to settle down. Now ready to go for that kingpin. Single pin, he has it. So that's a big spare because he has a 20-pin lead and he is opposite the 10 box.
Come on, give us 3 in a row.
Just the 10 pin to knock down. And he's all over it. Bonus. Oh, he came right in on the head pin, but did not get what he wanted. He got just 3. So he's got spread eagle plus the 8 pin. And that hurt him a lot. Nine. And a 113. Renaud already at 102 with a 9-pin lead. Just 4. Nope, no spare. The hand is for Ralph Stewart, who went over to check on a piece of wood to see whether it was near the deadwood line, and it finally rolled off. It's a 10 box. One pin to pick up for another mark. $367 plus. So Steve Renaud has won again. 6 in a row, and next week he'll be challenged by Paul Berger, whose average is 131. And strike on top of that. 377. Steve Renaud keeps on rolling along after defeating Dick O'Connell, who had been on here for 7 weeks, and then he comes along and he is going to his 7th week next week against Paul Berger with a final score of Renaud 377 and Pereira 345.